Welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream for Ustream.tv and also recorded for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. I'm quite well zoomed in because the camera's very close to my Colin Thompson colouring in book, and I think this is called Fantastique. You think it is? But it doesn't say that on the cover, it just says colouring book. And it's the one with all the books. So I'm going to start a new page, and I'm going to do this one with the books because it has a Christmas tree on it. So I've looked for my colours in my little book of colours, and I'm using just the Derwent watercolours, but there's 72. So I've got enough colours to finish the page. I'm working with about a teaspoon of water, working very dry because I want some nice watercolour effects. And that means you've got to have just a barely damp brush, just damp. And tease the colour. And I think I've decided on juniper green, so I'm just going to get the colour just on the end, and then I can start down here and tease that colour up. Now that brush is a bit wet. Tease that colour up and across. And again, most of the work's done for you because it's a graded scale. It's a grey scale. So we know this Christmas pudding colour now. So we've got lots of browns. In fact, we've got a chocolate colour here. This could be a really nice, rich, dark, big fat Christmas pudding. But it's somebody's house. So that would be nice. You could eat the walls. Yep, I'd like to live in a Christmas pudding house. I've just given that a little bit of a tint. So if you lived in a Christmas pudding house, what colour would you want your... I wonder what colour you would want. I'm just going to put these berries, and I'm going to use burnt carmine, I think. I used this earlier for testing colour. Turn it over and I can test my colours again. Oh, it's a sheet. My pencils want revamping. Yes, I quite like that as a cherry colour. And so those little berries on that Christmas pudding are going to be burnt carmine. And so we want a bit of a leaf now. Excuse me. So I think we're going to go for I think we'll have mineral green. I don't know if I like mineral green. No, I think we're going to go for sap green because it's a holly leaf. Tease that colour into there, and on the other side. And that's working extremely dry, very dry. Dries in seconds. It's just that split second before it's dry. That's how you're working, and that ensures that you can have a nice watercolour effect, and it doesn't affect the pages whatsoever. I'm just trying to work it. That looks a bit like a honeycomb. That looks like a honeycomb. I'm just going to have a very quick look and see what that is. It looks like it's made of honeycomb, but what I've learned to do in all these colour books and all these complicated things, I've learned to leave them. I'm pretty sure they are ink pens. They look like isograph rotring pens. That's what they look like. There's a little boot up there. I think we'll do the little boot. And I do them in little sections because I find that easier. So there's a little boot up there. So I think we'll have... a pale blue. I think we'll have a lilac-y boot. And again, it's a grayscale, so you can just put flat colour if you want, or a natural highlight if you want to do your own. So it's a little purple boot. There's a little person's head just there peeping out, so I do those number 16, which is flesh pink, and it just takes the white from there. I think that's a bit of a duck. I don't think it's a particular bird, but we've got some nice browns, so we'll just look for a copper beech, and we'll just put a smidgen of, I think it's a little fat pigeon, but it's a brown fat pigeon now. So we could do with a bit of a door there. So I think possibly medium brush. I think we're going to have olive green. I think if I lived in I think I'd want an olive green door, and so I need olive green window frames. I'm going to leave the icing on top. And he sat in a little dish. But I think I'll get the next book out of the way because we've got to go behind these leaves. So I think we could have a sandy colour book this time. And again, just a little piece of paper just to give it a bit of a thing. Yeah, it'll do. So there's the comedy of erasers there. These are all art related puns on books, on famous books. So if anybody's got any questions, if you put them in caps. My life in art, and then there's a book there. That could be an interesting colour, this one. And this is obviously a book colour, so it doesn't have a label on it as such, so it's one of the only ones I've seen without a label. But we can just darken it down here a bit, get quite rich in colour. I don't want that to be too much. I did say that was an olive green. I think I'm going to give that a bit more olive green. And I think the other one was mineral green. Excuse me. I think the other one was it could be sap green, I think. So I'm going to just give these a bit more oomph, I think. Just a bit more colour. So I've got 3 done and the little pudding. Sometimes I like some dark, deep blues. That's quite interesting. If it's not too... Let me have a look for that one. I think we'll have this blue. It's quite nice. This is number 36, indigo. It is a bit dark. Just going to stroke some colour in there. Makes that flame stand out a bit more as well. And then don't forget the top. So, I don't know what that is. I can't work that out. Sometimes if I don't know what they are, I leave them. The crackers are normally kind of red, so we'll have some red crackers. We'll have probably do deeper red than that. That's probably red and green crackers. Not being very vibrant in here. Again, completely different to how I've worked in the other colour books. So we've only got 2 crackers on there. So there's a bit of a book there. So I'm going to just put this a bit of that colour, I think. We need a green now. Have a bottle green for the tops of our crackers. And we've got to think about our tree. It's going to have to be mineral green, I think. It's going to have to be mineral green. And we're going to have to start stroking colour in. As we go. And again, because it's a grayscale, you can just stroke the colour in and you don't really have to do very much to it. Purely because it's a grayscale. I think my colour's fading a bit now. You just have to make sure you don't go over anything else. So I hope everybody's keeping warm and toasty. Alfie's sitting on my feet. But I think that's what they were, that's why they were quite popular with King Charles. I think it was King Charles the First, maybe? I think. So he's a King Charles rather than a Cavalier. I think Cavaliers are smaller. He's a King Charles. But they like to sit at your feet. so he's under the desk. And for a young dog, he's a bit of a lazy boy. So I quite like that colour, just showing through. Oops, I've touched the wrong colour. And I'm not doing this perfectly. I'm doing this kind of, you can get away with this only because it's a very, very dark scale. This is probably the easiest thing I've coloured in this book, and that's purely because it's already grayscaled for you. And you're just giving that hint of green. Oopsie. Now this paper's quite well behaved as well. It's about the same strength as Fiona Basford, so it's good quality, and it will take a drop of water. And again, I only colour things that I'm pretty sure of. If I'm not sure, I leave it. I can always go back to it. Because the chances are, if you think it's something, it'll be something else. So I kind of leave them if I'm not sure. And I'm sure these are rotring pens. I'm sure they're these. Without the tops on. Because that's what this is drawn in. Sure it is. So I'm pretty sure that these are rotring pens. The candles. And the very fine points. Very fine points. Although there is a point 18 in there. So hopefully if I can get my act together in the next few days, I shall be bringing out my own. I can be a bit more daring this time. I'll be bringing out my own colouring in things. And again, I can put a few colours in now. So that should be interesting, hopefully. So even though these are quite vivid, managed to kind of keep them quite muted colours. Says she. And again, this is such a peaceful way of working that sometimes you forget to talk about anything else because you're just kind of enjoying what's happening. So I'm going to finish my tree. There's a present under there. I think I might have to have that a blue present. Yep, I think we're going to have a little blue box under there. And again, you don't need to do anything because all the grayscale has been done for you. Unless you want to, of course. I'm just going to swap to the finest brush. I'm working with 3 at the moment because I want very fine leaf, and I'm going to use a very, very bright grass green leaf. Oh, I thought they were leaves. Oh well, they are now, I think. I wonder if that carmine is kind of red enough. I think it is. Yep, I'm going to have to do this. So I'm sorry it's really quiet and peaceful. Shouldn't say that, should I? What I can't understand is where's the candle for those? Why don't they have a candle? Whoopsie. So I can't see what's at the top of the tree. Is it a pot of glue? Not sure. It's a pot of something. It's definitely a pot of something, so looks like it's a pot of glue or a pot of. So I'm going to do these quite a bright. I think pale green. I can get some colour going. I do need to rejiggle these though, I have to say. And I tend to pick out a little bookshelf on their own and then just get on with that particular bookshelf. I find it works easiest for me, because I can't jump about from one thing to another. I get confused very easily. So I thought these were leaves, but I'm sure somebody will tell me otherwise. So again, quite like those. I've got those coloured in. I found a bauble there. It has a pair of eyes sticking out. So it will have a blue ball. So we've had a blue thing there. There's a jack in a box, so we want a brown box, don't we? Or a grey box. So he's done. So jack in the box is normally quite bright. And so we'll put him a red hat on, I think. So again, just teasing that colour in. I wanted to do him yellow, but for some reason I didn't do that. Didn't do him yellow. You could do with a bit of flesh pink. I'll leave his beard white, I think. So let's get some more books painted in now. Oh, we've got mistletoe there. We'll get mistletoe finished first. So mistletoe has white berries, and I think we'll have so I have now some green on here, so I think I need a little book. need a small book, and that's a small book. That was a small book, so that's quite good. I have no idea, but in the Derwent pencils it's called Flesh Pink, and it looks like that. It actually looks paler than that. It looks paler than that, does Flesh Pink. It's just the name. In fact, I need that. It's just the name. Oh no, I've done his face. It's just the name they call them. There isn't a portrait pink in here. There is only Flesh Pink in the Derwent pencils. There is no portrait pink. But they've called that Flesh Pink, and then Madder Pink's next, and Rose Pink. And they're the three pinks that they give. But this isn't watercolour, this is watercolour pencils. So I need the bigger brush now to do that colour. And I think I'm going to have a mauve colour, I think. Mauve could be good. So I'm just going to tease that colour in. And what colour next? I think we might have... This is quite a nice colour. The books could have been all browns actually, thinking about it. There's lots of books of dark colours. I think that's a bit of leaf, so I better put that a bit of a bright colour now. So that's finished. Portrait Pink is, yeah. See, I've never heard of Portrait Pink. Portrait Pink doesn't exist. You would make your own. You would make your own colours from yellow ochre and a red rose madder. That's how you make your flesh colours. So Portrait Pink is a made up name. I think we might have a blue one. A purpley blue one maybe to finish with. Or possibly a dull red. Rose madder is a little bit pinky red, but hey ho. So that's nearly finished, is that one? Hi Timothy, welcome to Bunny's Designs. I'm reading my Colin Thompson book, and I've done the Christmas pudding and the tree, and I'm just going to be doing a smidgen of a brown colour for the tree. And that's going to morph into something else. So I finished this one. There's a few labels to do, but I will do those last. So I'll go up one now to here. So there's a Yuletide log, but it is a log. Yeah, it just makes me giggle, does that? It just makes me giggle. A long time ago, there was a hit on Top of the Pops. And it was, I think there were some kind of puppets or kind of characters. And they sang Star Trekking Across the Universe. And I taught my children about it when they were little. And when I was showing them, bearing in mind Star Trek came out when I was about the little 4 or 5. Oh no, I'm the same age as Star Trek. No, it's 50 and I was 54. Yeah, so I was about 4 when Star Trek came out. And then probably the late 70s, when I was probably about 9, 10. I can't remember the exact time, but somebody had this hit with Star Trek and Across the Universe with these puppets. So after all these years, I find this for my daughter because I'm telling them about this thing, and I can't remember it, but it was this puppet thing. So I find it, and we find the bit from Top of the Pops on YouTube. I'm on a rabbit trail here. And there's the captain sitting in the chair in this puppet form with a log on his lap. And I never knew that was the captain's log. And it's taken me 50 years to work that out. Bit slow. Just a bit slow. And I kept thinking, what's he got a log on his knee for? And I could not work it out. And then about 3 weeks after, I was showing them again. I said, oh, he put me out of misery. Why has he got a log on his knee? And she said, Mother, it's captain's log. So, yeah, a bit slow. Sorry about that rabbit trail. Just reminded me seeing that. It just looked like captain's log. The Star Trek. So that's another parcel. So I think we might have a pink parcel this time. Should we have a pink parcel? Purple parcel. We've got a blue one. I think we'll have a purple one. So it doesn't take much to confuse me. But it made me giggle. So at 2:30 this morning I couldn't sleep, and I was going through some archival whatever that's on your phone that suddenly bobs up and annoys you. And it said that one of my favourite saved videos was this, and I thought, I don't recognise that. Of course I played it, so it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying not to laugh at Uhura saying, there's Kingdom on the starboard bow, Jim. Sorry, rabbit trail. Rabbit droppings. I don't know what that is there. Unless it's the wrapped present. Again, I think that's the wrapped present. Yes, it is. Must be a steam iron. It must be a steam iron. So again, if you want, you can play with oh, sorry, I was off camera there. I think recently they've brought out acrylics and paints with names on them to help, like here, you know. So there's a stocking which could be. Is that a little fat robin sat there? It's a very fat robin if it is. Can't see. And there's another one there. So let's have a look. I think we could have a blue and white. What a vivid blue, don't we? We have a vivid blue. That's a vivid blue. It's a little bit too vivid for here. I wasn't using bright colours. If I watered it down a bit, that would be quite nice. So by just taking that vibrancy off, so I quite like that blue and white sock. I think that's... I'm just going to have a bit of a look at that. I don't know what that's they're doing there. So if we go over here, we could probably use this blue under here for a book. I think we've got another parcel up there. Could be grey. It could be grey. Oh, cedar colour's a bit grey, isn't it? I like to keep these fairly pale. I like paler colours in this, rather than vivid bright ones, I have to say. So we'll just have a look at that. So I need another colour. I do tend to go for the dull colours, but I think I think again it's because you know, a lot of books are dull, especially Victorian books. Were all kind of leather bound, so they were all kind of musty greens and beiges and browns. They weren't vibrant colours that they are today. I like that's just got a hint of blue. So thanks for stopping in, everybody. I hope you're okay. Everybody's well. Everybody's doing. Are you in your colour books? I haven't broken chat, have I? Because I normally break all sorts. Although it was very good today, it came back. So we could do with probably a deep chrome colour. I think we'll do this one, a deep chrome. And again, if you don't want to do anything, you just stroke the colour in and the grayscale has done it for you, so it's very easy, this one. I think he wants a little red hat on as well. I can't think if it's a bulldog. I think it's a bulldog. But I think we'll just give him a bit of tint, just a smidgen of French grey, just to warm him up a bit. And it's to get rid of that stark white. Now the label can be stark white, but I don't want the little thing to be stark white. Yeah, I think he's going to have... Oh, he could have a carmine. He could have a carmine hat on, couldn't he? and that's a little bit strong for a book, but if I water it down quickly it might go to a dull pink, in which case I will get away with it. So all these dark browns and things I think lend themselves quite well. And possibly I'll just have a quick look at this one, I think. Yep, there we go. Just done a little one down there because it was looking like it could be that colour. Just a tiny bit on there. We'll have some green. There's a little tiny boot up there. Diddiest little boot you've ever seen. So I've done a full page of this already, so I don't know if you're finding it too boring. I might just finish this section off. So it takes about an hour. It is if you do it like this. There are other ways of doing things. I'm just going to colour that little boot in there. I should have done this gunmetal now I've done it. I realised this should be gunmetal. Let's give that a bit more warmth. So that's not sure what that is. All that. we can make it golden. Oh, we better not make that golden. We'll make that golden. Better not make that golden because we've got gold there. Again, there's another package there, and I think that's the colour of our little, there they are, little fat friends. Go. So I've got a tiny bit of pink on here, so I need rid of that. I'd just like to put something on that just takes that start white off, and it looks like you haven't forgotten them. And we still need a bright colour for this. Hi Kingo, welcome back. Hi Suzanne. Anybody else that stopped in? Sarah. Welcome back to Bunny's Designs. I'm still having a bit of a play in my Colin Thompson book. I've got another about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to try and get this done in 15 minutes, and then it takes an hour to do a couple of sets, a couple of shelves. And I quite fancy there could be a bark alert. Sorry, I can just hear some noise outside. So we could have a bark alert. So I just thought I'd better just say something. So apologies in advance, but if I carry on waffling, he won't be able to hear, and we'll get away with it. It's just, I end up looking like the complete barn pot for shouting over everybody. And I think that's, I don't know if that's wood or metal here. It might be an A-frame if it's, although they are much to do about rotoring, so they are rotoring pens. I think I quite like the gunmetal. Yeah, there's a blue grey, so I think we're going to put that on there. And that's a little bit wet for this book, but that's naturally lent itself to that. Right, and then we want a silver sword. And we need a book cover. We could possibly have a lilac. And we have, not sure, I think that's one of those yellow thingy ones, so I'm going to do that gunmetal, I think. Or silver grey. I'm going to do that silver grey. always have something. I can do that package up there. And I think that's made out of a honeycomb. So we could use this colour. So I think that's finished, that little section there. I haven't done the labels. I'm just looking to see. I think that's a ball of string. So again, we can just give that this colour. I mean, probably we could darken up the Yuletide log a bit, couldn't we? Make it look a little bit warmer. And then we need the tiniest brush. And we want carmine. And we want a very bright green, because I want it to stand out. So I think that is done. I don't know what that is. Just turn that around. Do we think it's a... I don't know what it is. It's something to do with art, but I have no idea what it is. And I've missed a... So I need to just put a little bit of that on there. And what colour do I use? I don't know, I think I use that, something like that. So I finished that little section. So I quite like the colours. I still do them fairly pale. I might be brave and do the others big bright colours. How I do the I use this brown, this raw umber here, this burnt umber, which is professional watercolour, and I kind of just swish this about from dark to light, because most things will morph into this. So all the way around, all the wood that makes the shelves is this brown. Just found a teddy bear there. So I tend to just kind of stroke this down to here, and that's given that a highlight. And then coming across here, we want another one. That's going to be a little bit dark though, isn't it? So under here is going to be darker. Actually, it wasn't too dark. And then under there. So it gets paler. And again, build this up here so that will morph into there. So thanks for watching me. This is Bunny's Designs, and I'm on my second book page. Because I had the Christmas tree, I decided I wanted to have a play with that. I might just actually just take this log. I don't know, I quite like it like that. I like it kind of pale, and that would probably be a bit dark. Warm it up a little bit. Just warm it up a smidgen. There's a little grey clockwork mouse there. This is something to do with graphics, but I don't know what it is. Something to do with art. It's not a, I don't know what it is. Don't know what colour to do it, so I've left it. I think I've coloured everything else. So I was moving up here to do these. Is anybody playing in this book at the moment? So you just want to touch because it's going to be quite dark, but you want to be quite fast with this. It's giving a nice watercolour effect. You can do the same at the other side. And then you can see where it gets kind of, it morphs into other things. So there's some pegs on here, look. So I'm going to leave all these little pegs. It says she, I've gone over that one. And that's morphed nicely into that one. And there's a daisy chain there, so just take that to there. And again, that's quite pale now. So it's got a bit of dark there. It can get dark here if we want, and then go light again. And there's some chain here, so if I got a small one, you can have some fairly nice colours. Go back to this one, and we've got Delft blue, so we can make 2 or 3 on there. And we've got a red. We've got to have a yellow. So let's brighten that one up a little bit. Got a daisy chain. Not daisy chain. Christmas Christmas chain. So there's another one there. There's a tabby cat there. Who's going to be tabby cat? Oh no, it's not. It's a parcel. It's my eyesight. Okay. There we go then. No, it isn't. It's a tabby cat because it says meow. There's some really tiny little things going on in this book. So that's obviously Santa. So Santa needs... just trying to think if I should just colour that in. I could do it flesh pink, and then if I find out what it is. I think it's either a canvas frame, something like that. I think that's what it is, but I'll give it a bit of a colour, and then it doesn't look like we've forgotten it. So it's taken about an hour to do that section there. So I'll just zoom out a little bit, and you can see how tiny it is. So I've got a lot to go yet, but I love working in this. It's very quiet, very simple, and you can use the top of a small thing for water. You don't need a big water pot. And it's dry, so I can shut the book. But I wanted to do they must all be Christmas then. That's a stocking. Perhaps not. Perhaps it's just this bit. So that's the end of part 1 of the Christmas book page of the Colin Thompson fantastic book. So thank you for watching.